Okay, part 2, adjustment. Alright, so I have the park adjuster, or the gear selector in park. And the main piece, sorry, a little wonky there. Main piece is installed back the way it's supposed to be, and I've left that loose so I can see when it has moved out enough to reconnect. Because it shouldn't need to have force on it, it just needs to be aligned correctly. So that'll, once it's in line with the piece and I can just pop it over and put it on, we'll know that it's at the correct spot. So, in order to adjust, I'm going to pull this collar back, lift up on this little plastic piece here. Now, it may require a screwdriver depending on how tight it is, and in this case it does. So, let me grab a screwdriver, I'll be right back. Hopefully y'all can see that. Oh yeah, okay. So when you pull it back, if you push up right here, it will hold itself back out of your way. And then you can get this pried up where it's supposed to be. Oops. Trying to do this one-handed may not work. I may have to set the phone down. Okay. So I don't know if it was aligned correctly. Let's throw that piece back there for a moment. Okay, so what I did, I rotated around to the bottom. Let's see, make sure you all can see that. See that this little tab? Right. Well, it's not so much a tab; it's part of that clip. But you can just push straight back up on it and just work back and forth from side to side, and it'll pop right up. That way, you reduce the risk of potentially damaging it. Just leave it up like that, and you see it's already, just with natural tension, has popped out about ½ an inch, which is about what we needed. So let's hook it up, and then we will come back and lock the latch down. Be gentle. Especially this yellowish greenish type of plastic, with age becomes exceptionally brittle. And you will be cussing and all sorts of unhappy if you manage to break that trying to get that adjuster up. So be very gentle with it, because if you break that, no amount of extra stuff in the world that you can stuff in there is going to hold that cable correctly, and you're going to end up needing to replace a cable, or half a cable as it were. So let's hook that back up. Okay, so it is a mirror image. To get this end to come out, the cable actually has to go in to make it longer. So we actually need to shove it in. Interestingly enough. Again, this is a refresher course for me since it has been a minute since I have done any of this. It's been a long time since I've had to mess with Chevy shift linkage, and the last time I did, it was a different system. So let's shove that on in there and see what that gives us. Oh, hey, look at that. It lines right up. just pop that little guy back on there. Make sure she's on there good and snug, because that is not something you want coming loose going down the highway. Then give a good overview of what you're dealing with here. This has got the manual four-wheel drive. That's the manual four-wheel drive linkage right there. Or the manual transfer case, I should say. Yeah, funny, a manual transfer case, but automatic front axle. Go figure. They really complicated stuff with this one. So, okay, so that's back in. This is attached correctly. This is popped on there. It's very greasy, so you didn't hear it click. I barely felt it click when it went on there. Make sure that your boots are up around the collars on either end, because this is a lubed cable, or lubed linkage. So this section right here up to about, well, probably about here is a solid rod. So this is all greased and you don't want it getting all nasty. So make sure that little bellows piece is the way it's supposed to be. Alright, so we've got that pushed in. Maybe push it in just a little bit further if it will. It won't. Alright, I'll pull that back. Pull it back, hold it in place, and pop that little guy down. Remember, again, be gentle. Don't force it. Do not use pliers. All I used to get this out, get it up, was this little teeny tiny screwdriver. I mean, if this is a good indicator, it's really not much longer than one of my own fingers. That and hand power. You do not need anything more than that. If you need more than that, spray it down with some Armor All or something, some type of plastic preservative lubricant, and let it sit for a little bit. If it's caked up with stuff, rinse it down with some water. Work it gently. This cable is a pain in the ass to install or replace. You don't want to break this. All right. Give it a function check real quick, and I believe that will solve that issue.